I do not know if for sure. I believe we are live, possibly with sound. I guess we'll find out if anybody says hello.
Want me to do the thing
Go for it.
or stay out of it this time? Because it doesn't seem to actually help. Where I kind of pop in and see.
I just thought you might want to say hi. You can do the
Hi,
thing.
my name. That sounded really bad. Hi, I'm Erica. I'm the Dyslexic and Katie's sister.
That says it all, really. Hi, my name is Katie. This is Katie's Corner in Space, and I'm having a chat with my sister, possibly with sound, possibly not, because I am noticing that I have no audio, desktop audio. Ah, wait, audio input. Yay. I have
Uh-oh. Do you want
audio
me to check
input.
the audio?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, well, you can check it. I think we're good, though. I think we're
Double check.
good.
I just closed it.
While we're trying to check and see if our audio works, what we're trying to do today is have a little discussion about Picard season three, uh, how we got there, where we might go, where
Yes.
we might be going, and in general, what we loved about it. Because I have to say, obviously, from the moment we found out the next generation was going to be the core focus of the third season, everybody was excited about it. It was anybody who was any kind of a fan for the past 30 years was going to have something in this show that they could relate to, enjoy, find themselves looking back at their childhood maybe and really relishing getting to know these characters again. You may speak now, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Also, and it's only on my end. I think it's because of some of the things we're talking about earlier today. You cut out. I hear enough to know what you're saying, but you are cutting out. And it's my computer. It's not happening on the channel. But yeah, I was so excited when I heard they were going to have the TNG crew. And oh okay, sorry, I'm getting the internet unavailable thing. But yeah, I had a viewer who is the very anti new Trek kind of, and just losing it over them being so dark. Is it fine? I'll just enjoy watching Enterprise D again on screen without you.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
I'm actually going to check because I didn't tell it to go live on here and I'm paranoid because I am still
Well, when
getting
I
used
look,
to this. Did it go live? Yeah, it's live now. I didn't have to push any buttons. Yay! I'm excited about small, happy things that work the way you hope it does. It doesn't take a lot to make me say, yes, it's working. This is our third attempt altogether. Our first try worked great. Second try, not at all. I think I've actually got the settings working. Uh, but back to Picard. I was just double checking to make sure it was working.
yes, I'm glad your side's working because you'd be losing it on my end. You freeze on me,
Well, you're cutting in and out
and
sound wise
it's
a bit.
totally my computer. Yeah, it's oh, uh-oh. Well, hopefully it won't be
Hello?
too bad. I'm For those who don't know, my Wi-Fi has been acting wonky for about 2 days. I'm shocked it's actually working right now, but I'm very glad. Hopefully I don't break up too much.
Well, you're breaking up a little bit during the discussion, but it's not so bad. Um, I was rewatching the first. I was trying to get through the whole thing, but life is what it is. Instead of getting through 10 episodes in 12 hours, I got through 5, which was pretty good while trying to get stuff done. And after
Yeah,
rewatching
that's
it,
pretty impressive.
yeah, I was pretty impressed. After rewatching it, just those first 5, I ended on the episode with Ro. And it was just before she's about to bite it to try to help the Titan get out of harm's way. And I just want to say, how excited were you when you saw Ro come back?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just screamed, but you're a traitor to the Federation. I was so mad until they went to the next episode and her and Picard had their back and forth. Honestly, if she hadn't died, I don't think she would have redeemed herself enough, which is
Okay, see, and this is
terrible
the
because I
common
like Ro.
argument. This is the common argument I was getting. I know I don't get a lot of comments in the comments, but I get some comments, and it was, how could they possibly have her be a part of Starfleet again? And and I was like, they were like, they don't do that in the military, and I'm thinking to myself, about a dozen different excuses came into my head. Well, first of all, this is fiction. Second of all, this is not the United States. This
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
Starfleet. This is the whole world. And not only that, well, not even just the whole world, but, kind of anybody who wants to be a part of it. But not just that, I'm assuming they hadn't watched any of the Maquis who got back with Voyager get reinstated, get their own commands, even. Uh, I know you weren't watching
Yeah.
Prodigy, but we watched Prodigy, my youngest and I, every episode. And the whole point of their journey coming up in the second season, I'm guessing even more, is that Chakotay, who had the ship, the Protostar, was in command. He
Right.
was the captain. So if they can do that with Maquis, who, yes, obviously they proved themselves over a series of events throughout 7 years to a captain who is decorated and well thought of. So her word would go a long way. But that's, a pretty fair amount of Maquis who were invited to come back and join Starfleet if they wanted to. Why not Ro? She left for the Maquis. It was the exact same reason. The only difference is she didn't get thrown off into the Delta Quadrant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think part of it is, and she does explain. Yeah, I do. She I'm doing from memory. She had gotten caught. She did her time, and I think that's the biggest difference here. If you and especially if you're in the military, if you do something that lands you in jail, basically you better not expect to have anything good for the rest of your life. I mean, they're not going to let you back in. They're not going to give you a chance, but the Federation will. And
And I
if
think
she's
that's
had the
supposed to
chance
be
to
the
prove
big
herself,
difference.
I can see that. I think the biggest thing, yeah, yeah, the biggest thing is though we don't see that because of the time jump. It's brought up later, and I think I've noticed something. I've never really read a whole lot of the books, but I hear people talk about the books a lot, and I think there is in fact some beta canon where she actually does a lot of the things she talks about in that scene.
That wouldn't
So it's like
surprise
it's
me.
there a little bit, right? Because she was a great character. Everybody loved her. I don't know many people who hate Rolaren.
No. And in fact, I mean, you obviously, and I know, and mom too, we were all excited because we find out that we're going to get a strong female character with Deep Space Nine, and we find out later that she originally was supposed to be Rolaren. However,
Mm-hmm.
they rewrote it and we got Kira, and Kira was fantastic. I wouldn't change a thing. But she was meant to stick around longer. She was supposed to have this
I remember
big
seeing some
storyline.
things. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just didn't interrupt you. I remember seeing something about the actor because she played an admiral in Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, and
She does, yes.
she somebody came up to her and made some reference to Star Trek, and she about left. She did not like being associated with Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think it's because she didn't want to be typecasted, but I was surprised for that to see her in in this. My brain in Picard because I didn't think the actor would do it.
No, and that's fair. I kept going back and forth on, well, who's going to show up. I was really pulling for Armin. I really wanted to see him put on the costume again. I love Armin Shimmerman. I love Quark. Um, but I was
Oh yeah.
waiting to see if they could convince Avery, because there was some discussion that for years Avery says, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. Because he was focused on music, not so much because he didn't like Star Trek, but he was trying to focus on his music. And one of the last
Oh yeah.
interviews, I went and was researching on him, and he was kind of being more, yeah, I could be convinced it's a possibility. But I also got the same kind of answer while watching a video for Scott Bakula. Yeah, you never can tell what might happen.
Well, I saw something because I saw an interview with Kate Mulgrew. I heard of an interview with Kate Mulgrew where they said, "Are there any actors from the other shows that you wish you could work with?" And she says, "Yes, but I can't say anything about it because I have." And everybody, I waited until the credits came on, going, "Where's Janeway? Where Janeway? Why?" Well, from one of the things I've heard possible is she was supposed to be in it, but for time they had to cut it out. And
Well, you've
another
got to
person said, "Well, it
remember,
would be a money thing too." I said, "Money, nothing. They just wasted it. She got paid if she did it."
you have to remember that they're
Yes.
voicing these cartoons at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So she may have worked with them in a voiceover half a year ago at this point.
Mm-hmm. All right. I can
All
never
right.
tell when it's pausing or when it's freezing or when you stop talking.
I have the same
But
problem with yours.
yeah,
You're cutting out.
oh no, I'm telling you, I should have recorded. I was going to hit record at now. We don't need it. I wonder because right now I have Chrome open too. See if that helps with it at all.
Oh, let me see if I've got anything else open. I don't think I do.
Ray, do you hear him? No,
No, I
it's
don't.
not your
Any more than
end.
I
It's
can hear. Yeah, you can't hear my
mine.
dogs. I can't hear
Almost sounds
your
better. There you
cat.
are. Uh,
I do have
I
a couple of things open.
also,
Um, Now,
well,
what
I have
did
a
you think? I know you said you weren't surprised about the Borg at the end, and honestly, it isn't that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the Borg. They're the last. They're the first that come to mind." My problem was I kept expecting new
mhm.
stuff, and of course, that wasn't the point of the season. Was not to introduce a whole lot of new stuff. Yeah, a whole new crew on another or on a renamed ship, but it was to celebrate TNG. So of course it's the Borg, and of
Okay.
course,
The thing is, they. I think we were talking another time about a different show outside of Star Trek franchise, and I said don't watch it because they keep thinking they're hiding the lead and they're not, and that's how I felt about the Borg. I'm going, it can't be the Borg. It's too obvious. What else can it be? Because it's not the Borg. It's too clear. It's so I had it where the not the brain the Wayun, of course the name of the species is left my brain,
oh,
that
for pity's sakes, yeah.
there's a rogue group of them who were working with them or Jem'Hadar. There's a rogue Jem'Hadar that are working with them, and because the reason why they're so irreverent to them to these changelings is because they're not the diseased changelings, so they're talking down to them for that. And I had it all in my head, all these different explanations. So when I saw the Borg, I'm like, really? Yeah, it was the Borg.
Well, and that's how I was. Oh, I like the
Oh
Paul
yeah,
Wraith
I had
theory
a
and all this other ones, but
Oh yeah. And the pod rays would have worked with the red tendrils because red was their color.
Yeah, that's another thing. Where the
So
heck did all
yeah,
the red
there's
come from?
I because he was associating the connections with those flowers on that at that arboretum he had visited,
Right.
and the vines were red. That's where that came from. But it was kind of the I what they did with it was very good. I love the bit where Picard says, "Then I'll stay with you." I don't think that could have happened if it was any other group of people. The genetically infecting people with Borgitis was a bit iffy to me. Uh,
No, it's a computer virus. I thought it was
but
great.
I think overall yes, yeah. If they had been, if it had been nanites that had been transported into them or something like that, I think that would have been kind of cool. But have literally be, I've joked in a couple of my episodes that, a couple of my videos that Star Trek writers have no idea how evolution works. And I feel like this is a case of that. They don't get how it works. And I understand to some degree, but I'm going, as saying, I pass it on to my son. I'm like, that's not how that works.
I think
But
the only
again,
nanite
it's Star
exchange
Trek
was
evolution.
I think the only nanite exchange was between the Borg and the changelings to facilitate communication. That's the only thing that makes sense where Vatic is cutting off her
Yeah,
hand. And that's the only thing that makes sense as far as like somebody was saying they're assimilated, and I'm thinking no, Vatic has too much of her own mind to be assimilated in the classic sense.
yeah, yeah. And I still don't, because I've heard some arguments on whether or not these more solid Borg or solid changelings could be assimilated. I don't think they could. I don't think they have the right makeup
No,
to be
because they can
assimilated
produce
because they
organs, but
still have to turn into goo every 16 hours.
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, they could be infected with nanites. I mean, as far as that
Yes,
goes, they could be
excuse me. All
infected,
of
but
my Yeah, all of my attachments, all my prosthetics will now fall apart so I can turn into goo for 16 hours. Okay, I'm awake again. Let's put them back on again. Oh, and yeah, I'm gonna have to have my arm re-amputated and my eye every 16 hours. It's
no,
not gonna work.
it makes more sense that they were desperate, upset, and both wanted revenge and decided to work together. Now, the Queen called Vatic expendable, which she very much was for the ultimate goal, which is to
Yeah.
take over Starfleet.
Yeah, yeah. I think the enemy of my enemy is a really good trope. The problem is at some point one of those enemies is going to become the alpha. Everyone's going to become the beta. And as soon as that beta has no use, it's going to be cut off.
I think you're absolutely
And
right.
I, it's a very
There,
short term goal thing.
yeah, I don't know what the changelings thought the end game was going to be, except for the fact that the ones who are part of this plan already know they have a finite lifetime compared to what they would have had. So to them, they're not just on a clock. They know their time is, again, like I say, finite compared to what it would have been. So maybe they
Yeah.
don't really feel like they have a lot to lose.
Yeah. And maybe they don't really care if they win. They just want the Federation to lose.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'm going to say this is the ending was great. It was beautiful on a lot of levels. But at one point, when Picard and Crusher are looking, going, is this the line we're willing to cross? And they're like, yes, after what had happened to her. I wanted somebody to say, and the Daystrom Institute, along with Section 31, is being held accountable for charges of crimes, of war crimes, because like at some point somebody could have said, if you let us go, we will address this because we are not okay with what was done to you. We didn't know, now we know, and here's who we are. And that never happened.
Well, I don't think it
Maybe it'll
happened yet.
be
I
addressed
don't know
in,
if you've heard that Section
yeah,
31 is no longer a TV series, it's going to be a movie. And I think part of that is because the
movie. Yeah.
complaints are, why is there still a Section 31? We should have moved past that by now. So I'm hoping the movie will be how we broke down and got rid of Section 31. And yes, made the Daystrom Institute pay for just the insanity of what they did.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm kind of glad this is going to sound weird. I'm kind of glad that it killed the woman who tortured her because she freed herself. And that's something. But once your bad guy is a victim, at some point you have to recognize you're not necessarily 100% the good guy anymore.
Yeah,
I missed what you just said there. It completely
I just said yeah, I agree. I didn't have any.
nothing happened.
I think yeah,
I'm
you're
just saying.
going. Oh no, she
Yeah.
killed her, but at the same time, yes, because who the heck wouldn't if you're getting tortured daily? If you find a
Yeah,
way to
good.
escape, you escape. That's it. Hello, Starfleet has that rule. If there's a way to escape, escape.
I'm looking something up because the other one I want to know is what happened to Chris? At the end of it, they have at the very last scene when with um but before Q comes in again, is there's a picture with Picard and Crusher, and it looks very special. And I'm going, did they just say they got married? Because if so, what the hell happened to Laris? Because you better not have written her out. I loved her. She was awesome.
I really enjoyed Laris as well. I was pulling for them.
And she's still waiting
However,
for him to show up on that planet.
well, they did say a year later. I think Picard would have let her know at some point before the wedding, assumably, or assuming there is one. I was talking to, I want to say, Divine, UK. We were talking about where's Laris as well. And I said, well, from the looks of it, that photograph looked possibly a little weddingy. You know, they might have been not, you know, Crusher might not have been wearing traditional white, but it's been a few years. No one's gonna mistake
Yeah.
her for someone who has not been there. Anyway, so we don't know that, and I don't think we're gonna find out for sure until the spin-off movie, however the story continues, because it has to continue.
Yeah, I've got to hope that every little thing they didn't tie up will be tied up in the next series because yeah, they have
I'm
a lot
with
of
you
really
on
great. I
that.
mean, it was one of those one more scene. Yeah.
And I did like the
Also,
ending.
so what we're seeing is Cube.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, now we're both waiting for each other, aren't we?
No, you're go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, I was going to say we see Q pre what he did in season two, which linear wise I can get back because he's right. They're not a linear species. But if they do that, I want whatever happens with him and Ensign Crusher now uh, to explain what happened that he was dying to begin with, because I think that'd be kind of a cool tie up.
If he's
But
not
I
linear,
also
oh, go ahead.
I thought about it. If they're going to play some game with this being basically Little Picard, I want to see Little Q again
That's what I was gonna
because
say. It's a
if
shame they haven't
Q
brought back the
Senior
youngest to
died,
go to the
his
yeah.
yes, being like, "Hi, our dads knew each other. You're gonna be my new bestie," and he was going, "No, we're not." He goes, "You think?"
I don't know how old
I
that
wanted
kid
to
would
pet,
be
or
though
anything like
now.
I
I
always
mean,
wanted a
each
pet.
hab's aged, so they wouldn't be. I mean, Jack is supposed to be 20. I think little Q, unless of
Well,
course
I
they
mean,
found
but
a
again,
different actor. And
they don't,
but yeah,
and I think there's justification for getting an actor if the original Q Junior didn't want to do it. If they could find somebody who was at his age range and just say, "Oh, I changed my appearance so that we could look similar. Isn't this awesome?" And he's going, "What the hell are you?" I think there's just so many games they could have played with that.
yeah, I think they could have fun. But again, spin-off possibilities.
Yeah. Well, we also know that eventually the Q just sort of stopped talking to everybody. And I'd like to see that explained at some point too.
There's going to be a lot of Star Trek to come. Pardon me. Can you imagine if AQ and EQ showed up on fifth season Discovery? I doubt it's going to happen, but it would just be hilarious. Um,
Oh yeah.
Q could be a part of anything going forward from now until forever, and it doesn't necessarily have to be John Delancey, but we really want it to be for as long as possible. Oh, you
Mhm.
know what? I think I went away. Yep, my part went away.
Uh-oh.
It ended. It shouldn't have ended yet.
So,
No, hold on. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna have to hang up with you because right now people can hear me talking. I
okay,
believe.
maybe
Hello,
when we
I'm
get
still
back, it'll.
chatting, but I don't think they can hear you, sweetie. Let me figure out what this did. Yeah, it says I still got 4 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Whatever
I'm here and
happened,
you're
it's
not.
better now. I got her. It was something funky. I was moving my window around so I
Okay.
could check
Yeah, the
something,
live
and
still has. All right. Yeah, either way.
all it was space,
It's all
but it
good.
was still there. And at the moment, right now, we have no one watching or listening, but we've had a couple of people come in and go, and you never know who might listen lately later. And see, there I went again. If
Well, it also
I
looks
just
like
like making
people
myself
went and
disappear.
watched afterwards, which is something I do with streams.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. I'm trying to get this set up over here, but it's hard
And
because my
maybe
running out of
whatever's
time
going on
warning
with my
is there.
Wi-Fi.
No, it's not you. I've got my running out of time warning, and it's kind of in
Mm.
the way of other stuff, so I was trying to adjust a few things. We're still playing with how to use the free Zoom because it's the paid for one is $150, and I'm a very small channel, and that's quite a bit of cash for a very small channel.
Yeah, that would be more than you made last time, isn't it?
That's more than I make in a month right now just on the channel. So now, do you think that you would be because now at the end of Picard, I'm really excited to see Seven in command. I think she did
Oh
an
yeah.
excellent job.
Oh yeah. So on this in this group I go to, it's Star Trek Wholesome. I posted somewhere. I go Captain Seven of Nine and Commander Rothi, and it was like 3 weeks ago, and everybody's telling me why it won't work, and that couldn't be
Are you
because they're
serious?
exes. And I said, oh, I want them to get together too. I'm still mad that they broke them up again. Yes, and they're oh no. Some jackass goes in there and says, well, you know how women use the bathroom together, so it would never work because the commander and the captain would be on the going to the bathroom together all the time. I was like, you little asshole. Anyway, I saw her with the three pips. I saw her. There was a no. I saw the three pips, and I did the double fist bump. Yes. And I went in and I found the comment. I said, I win.
Not that we care about
Right, you're
such
still gonna be up
things,
here, so you
because
better
we're
behave
not.
yourself.
No, I took a little spit around when they made it obvious that the changelings were
Oh,
and the Borg had teamed up. I was like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I told you so goes nicely right about here. Um, because I'll have a nice debate, but if you can't back up your point, or if your argument is, well, that's not how we do it in America, and then I'm thinking, well, this is 200 years in the future and it is in America. So I'm not sure that your
Yeah, and
argument
it's not
holds
America.
water. Well, this seems to have gone
Yeah, it's like
fairly
it's 200
well,
years in the
except I have
future,
to
and it's not
plan.
America. And hey, yeah, I'll look forward to seeing how much I lag and break up on your end, because
Well,
this is my computer. This is my stuff on my end. I know it because your stuff looks fine.
well, you know what? We try it. We'll get it right. We'll do it a little bit better each time. Hopefully, we'll be slightly more interesting each time because we won't be focusing so much on is it working? Is it working?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you said
Go ahead.
nobody stayed, but you said you had people popping in and out, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
it is something. So maybe next
Well,
time
maybe
I'll have
we could
even
do
more
this as a
interest.
weekly thing
Maybe
while
next time I'll
you're.
actually be up when you send me the message.
No, you're fine. I sent the message when you said I'm going to bed and laying down. It wasn't a you must read it right now. I just wanted to let you know what my thoughts were. And that is the end of our talk right now. It seems that I have signed off. That it was the Dyslexic Trekkie. This was Katie's Corner in Space. Thanks for coming and listening to us sort of babble on between technical issues and Star Trek. If you've enjoyed listening to us babble and would like to hear what more I might have to say about other specific Trek issues, give us a comment in the comments below. Give us a drop, give us a line, subscribe, and let us know if you'd like to hear us talk a little bit more. Possibly we could spring for a slightly better situation for chatting. And thank you so much. That marks our time.